Hello, Sergeant Percival. My job is classified as medical lab technician, and I work at a very, very small clinic in England. So small that I see sheep outside of my window on most days. And the culture that we have at the clinic is very unique compared to many because of the fact that we are medical and we are so small. It's a culture where we really put the patients first. Trusted care is something that we employ for our policies, and it encompasses zero harm coming to any patient. Treating the patients as if they were our own mother, brother, father, sister every day, each and every patient. It's an organizational culture where sometimes, we put the patient ahead of our own needs and our own wants because they are the priority. I'll say we have many elements, some healthy, some unhealthy. Some of the healthy ones I can think of is the high standard of communication we have. Twice a day we have these huddles where we all get together, people from every part of the clinic, doctors, dentists, admin, and we really just go over anything and everything from safety concerns, from how our day is going, process improvements, anything that we think is important we can bring up. And that really creates a culture of belonging, inclusion, feeling like our voice is being heard, like they care. I also like that in our organization, the leadership is really accessible. My commander's, a couple doors down from me because we are so small. If I have an issue, I can knock on the door and talk to them right away, and things happen. Things get changed just like that. It doesn't go up 50 people, in a chain before it reaches someone who can do something about it. So that really makes us feel like we can make changes. It doesn't feel like we say something and it just fizzles away. Some unhealthy elements of my organization would be probably the fact that we are so small that we have to take on a lot of additional duties that we wouldn't have to at a bigger organization. For example, I'm a medical lab tech by trade, which means I do things like drawing blood. I test, things that come out of the human body for whatever the doctor wants. I can test and see how your cholesterol is. I can see if you're pregnant, things like that. But I also have to, track and order supplies. I have to help with deployments, with making sure members are equipped and ready to go over, to whatever area they're deployed to. And that's just me. A lot of people have up to 4 or 5 additional duties, and that's on top of their medical job. So that has a huge impact on us as an organization. It can stress people out. It can burn people out and take away from the patient care aspect because they're too worried about their additional jobs, their additional duties. So it can be stressful. But the healthy elements are a good impact because, when we have huddles and things like that, we feel like we can voice issues like those additional duties. We can bring up, hey, this additional job is getting too much for me. Can someone else take it on? So they're very impactful, but I think the way that we're set up, we can fix it. I think the importance of maintaining this culture is literally life and death. We're talking about patient care. So dropping the ball in any of our standards, policies, for example, me not wearing gloves and using a dirty needle when drawing a patient could literally kill somebody. So it's incredibly important to maintain that. And I feel like I play a big role in that. I am in one section of the clinic, but I can affect all the other clinics, and that goes for everyone. Things like lab can snowball. If I, infect a patient in the lab, they can go to family practice across the hall in another department and infect somebody else potentially, and then that just snowballs. So some things I do in order to shape and strengthen and maintain this culture is to come to work and do my job. I follow all the rules. Everything's clear and concise. I have a handbook that literally tells me how to do every part of my job. From step 1 to step 10 of how to draw blood, when to put on the gloves, when to put on my coat, how to draw the blood. Everything is laid out for me so there's no confusion. And I maintain those operating instructions. I make sure that they are always up to date, and I pass them out to our staff to make sure that they are aware of changes when they do come up. If there's any changes in any of the lab tests, I let the providers know right away. I tell them in the huddles, I let them know by email, I communicate. Some other things I do in order to maintain the culture are just to make sure that I treat every patient with respect and with the dignity that they deserve. I'm professional, I greet them, I'm kind, I ask how their day was. Little things like that really snowball again. So that way when they go to the next clinic or the next department, they are in a good mood. They're, able to talk to them about what they need to. And I think another thing I do in order to kind of shape and help the culture is fitness related. I make sure that I track everyone's fitness in my work, and I come up with workouts and organize workouts for all of us to do, just to kind of stress relief and to make sure that everybody is fit. That way they have one less thing to worry about. They are not worried about failing a PT test. They're able to focus on taking care of the patient. And I think all of this is important because it's our clinic's credibility. The culture is the credibility of our clinic. If we start dropping the ball and we let our culture become one where we don't follow the rules, we do whatever we want, patients aren't going to come to us because we're going to be the clinic that kills people, that gets people sick instead of makes them better. And then we're going to be out of a job. So it's important that I do my job and that we do our jobs all together to maintain this culture of zero harm, patient first, high standards, and including everyone in that, so that we just keep hammering that down and reinforcing that culture and making sure there's no confusion. It's almost like a plant. Organizational culture is almost like a plant. If we continue to have our meetings and talk to each other, follow rules and policies, the plant will flourish and grow healthily. If we take away the water, which is the meetings, the rules, the policies, the standards, inclusion, then our organizational culture will shrivel up and die, and sometimes when it's too far gone, it will not come back. And that, in a nutshell, is my organization's culture. Thank you very much.